All right, we're going to go from South Beach. We're going to go down from South Beach in beautiful South Florida up to Boston, Mass. Right. See what's going on with Jeff Hafley. He's going to join us here for the next 25 to 30 minutes. And let's bring on the coach of the BC Eagles. There he is, making, by the way, his 10th appearance, which means he gets a coffee mug. That's it. You get double digits, you get the coffee mug. So I got to go rummaging through whatever I didn't send to Dave Clausen. I get Jeff Hafley gets a coffee mug. Packer and Durham coming his way. Coach, first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you're doing okay, and it's always great having you back on the show.
Merry Christmas to you guys. I appreciate it. I can't believe I've already been on 10 times. Quite fitting. The first time I got on was right before COVID began, and I started my career as a head coach, and the next is ending with COVID, canceling our game. So one of these days I'll get to be a head coach without COVID. And actually, my first year we didn't go to a bowl game. The second year we got all the way to the end and didn't play. So hopefully next year we get to play in the game.
Zeus. I want to ask you about a couple things, but you just shared with us during the break that you just got home last night with your team. Now, I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that, but given the cancellation and the postponement of the game, I guess that came down Monday, right? Or actually Sunday. So why was it not until yesterday that Boston College was able to get home? And then you told us you just had Christmas with your kids. Unbelievable. So Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah, we opened our Christmas presents. So Santa came to Boston while we were out there in Washington, and we just opened the presents with the kids. But yeah, we landed last night. I got home about 9:30. We canceled. I'm so messed up on days because everything to me was game-like. So we canceled it, I guess, the 26th. And at that point, we had to make sure we found a way to get all the players who were sick home because they could not get on a plane. So that was our number one priority. So we figured that out, where to get them, how to get them home, how to get them back to Boston. And then all the remaining people, we got on a plane last night. We got on 2 planes and spread out, put our masks on, and we got home about 9:30. So a credit to our ops people and all the people that worked through to get that done, to get us home safely. And now we're back in Boston.
Coach, I know last year, and I said this on radio, I've said on this show, you guys at Boston College were really, I thought, the poster child for how you handle COVID. With all the tests, 0 positives, you did a remarkable job. Now all of a sudden we get this new variant, right? Kids go home for the holidays for a little bit. They come back. They're traveling. Wes has got it right now. I've got some family members too with it. It seems like it's ubiquitous, man. Everybody seems to have it at some point in time. How difficult is this? I mean, because you've done such a brilliant job from a COVID perspective, and then all of a sudden, between transfers, opt-outs, injuries, and then bam, COVID, next thing you know, no football. Simple as that. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's what's hard. You look back to last year when we were in the middle of COVID, we didn't have one positive case in over 8,000 tests. We played 9 straight, 11 games. And then even this year, going forward, our protocols are tight. We didn't even send our players home. We took our finals. We stuck together. No one left. No one visited their families. We got on a plane. We had masks. We had masks in meetings. And literally we made it right up until Christmas. I was sitting down, literally. I had a nice omelet made. Was sitting down, excited. We had good practices. And I got a text that said, one of the players just tested positive. He had a really bad fever, and he was in bad shape. And after that, our protocols are tight, guys. We're going to test a roommate, and then anybody else with symptoms, we feel it's our responsibility to test and make sure that the safety of our team is the number one priority. I know there's other teams that might not be testing, but it's how we've done things. It's how we're going to continue to do them. And suddenly we had a bunch of guys test positive. Woke up the next morning, we had more guys test positive. So the numbers were growing with staff, training staff, coaching staff, video staff, and it just got to the point where one position group was totally decimated, and the numbers were too high, and there were just a ton of unavailable players. And it's hard. I feel for the seniors. I feel for those that got sick first. For the players that got sick, I've talked to most of them, and they're feeling better. And then both teams and both seniors. For from everybody who's a part of it, from the band to the cheer teams to the alumni to the fans to the people that drove all this way, to all the ECU fans and their alumni and their players, and even to the people who put on the bowl and they put all their heart and soul and time into it. You know, I ran into a bunch of them yesterday and I felt terrible. And it's hard. It's really hard. And it's a shame and it's sad. And, you know, some people might be angry with us and some people might be upset with me. Our number one job is the safety of our team. And that's how it's going to be at Boston College. And we did things the right way. And at the end of the day, that's how we're going to do it here. But for all those people involved, you know, we're sorry. And, you know, hopefully next year at this time we get to actually take the field in one of these.
All right, I want to shift gears to an element that came into play here, and you're going to have to be the one to tell us this. The last 10 days have been about, on social media, announcements of BC players that were coming back. I mean, guys that were coming back from Phil Jurkovec to Zay Flowers to down the line. You've done a hell of a job recruiting your own team to come back for one more run here, it looks like. How did you pull that off in the midst of trying to get ready for a bowl? It looks like the vision that you told us about in that first visit a couple of years ago has totally been understood and embraced by these guys that want to see it through, Jeff.
Yeah, that's one of the most encouraging things in an age where, you know, guys are opting out and guys are leaving early. We had a bunch of guys that could, and I guess you could start with Phil Jurkovec. We had a ton of conversations and how much he means to the program, how much he means to Boston College, but you know, let's look real hard at it. He's got a chance to be one of the top picks in the draft next year, and he knows he's got work to do, and he wants to get better, and he knows that to play that position in that league, you better be mentally and physically ready. And he wants to come back, and he wants to help us win, and he's not happy with how we finished the season. And then Zay Flowers, so you see right there, there was a lot of conversations. I mean, this guy is dynamic. I think he'll be one of the best receivers in the country next year. I think he'll have a chance to win the Biletnikoff. The coolest part about that, guys, one of his main reasons, he wants to get his degree. And that's special when you hear a kid say that, when you hear his dad say that. He's a year away. He wants to do more things. He wants to get his degree. Josh DeBerry, same thing. Christian Mahogany, he had a chance, same thing. So the guys like it here. I'm really proud to be their head coach. I'm just excited that they're choosing to come back. But with those recruits, keeping them, they're the most valuable ones. And if you put stars on them, shoot, we got one of the best classes coming back in the country.
Coach, you know, really, this league has the perfect example, and your guys are kind of falling in the same category, and that is we saw what Kenny Pickett decided to do a year ago, where, you know what, could have gone to the NFL and decided, you know what, college life's okay. You know what, I like my coaches. I like my teammates. There's unfinished business. Let me put in the work. You know, I got a guy like Jordan Addison I can throw it to. And I think of your team kind of in the same light where Phil Jurkovec could say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to go to the NFL, but you know what? There's still some unfinished business. I like my teammates. I like my coach. I like Zay Flowers. I can throw it to 04 all day long. I know you'd love to see the same deal on which, hey, this time next year you're the ACC champs, but you do have the same kind of pedigree there, I think, with Jurkovec and Flowers, as Kenny Pickett did a year ago, making that decision, coming back and having a great year and throwing it to Biletnikoff winner Jordan Addison. It's kind of similar, the two programs, I think, from that perspective.
Yeah, I sure hope so. You know, if you told me, shoot, if we talked like 6-7 weeks ago and we were losing those 4 games in a row, and if you had told me that, you know, we could pull it off, finish in a bowl game, and then still get Phil back, I'd be pretty happy. But again, to get those guys back, and the other thing I try to tell those guys is, you know, coming from that other league, there's nothing like college football, guys. There's nothing like, you know, living with the guys you're playing with, being with them for 4 years, enjoying them, enjoying the games, enjoying the nights after the games, enjoying the students and the fans. I mean, there's nothing like college football. And that's coming from a guy and a bunch of guys on our staff who've been there. And don't wish it away, because you got plenty of time to go to that league, and it will be a little bit different for you. But I want them to enjoy this. And guys weren't happy with how we ended the season. No one was. I'm not, and no one should be. And they don't want that the last time they put on the BC helmet. So we're pumped, and hopefully it is. It's a story we're talking about next year, all these guys coming back and finishing off the right way.
All right. When we come back, more with Jeff Hafley as we work our way to the top of the hour, including what's the deal with all the damn helmets on the shelf. We're going to do that. And we're also going to ask him, why do you coach? And if you weren't coaching, what would you be doing? Packer and Durham continues with BC's head coach Jeff Hafley next.
Best Christmas gift. Gosh. Maybe when I was a young kid, I got a Rambo train set. Remember the movie Rambo? I loved Rambo. Like, I wanted to be Rambo when I grew up, but look at me, I don't look anything like him. But I got a Rambo train set, and I remember just playing with that thing, and it was like the coolest thing I ever got in my life. That and like just give me a basketball or football when I was younger, and I was good to go. That train set stands out.
The Rambo train set, man. We played that last week. I said, we got to get us a train set here in the studio, man. We got a little bit of everything, but we don't have no stinking Rambo train set. I can tell you that right now.
You didn't get one of those when you guys were a kid?
Nope.
No.
Gosh, I love Rambo.
We're too old.
I wanted the Rambo knife, the headband. I mean, Rambo was the man.
Hey, Coach, you know what I got? I said this last week when we were having fun with Christmas gifts. When I was a little kid, I got an ABA basketball, red, white, and blue basketball. And I was so excited, man. I couldn't wait to go out and play with it and shoot around with it. And I stuck it by the heater after the first day, and I woke up the next morning and it looked like a pear.
Burned.
And so like you could only dribble it on one side. It looked like you're dribbling drunk going down the street, man. But that thing for one day, man, I thought I was cool, that red, white, and blue ABA ball. But it didn't last long.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. I want to look at you're coming to us here. This is your home office where you're coming to us from this morning. And I've noticed on the shelf, we've got everything from like 2 BC helmets. I see an Ohio State helmet. There's a Pitt helmet up in the corner. The WPI, is that the Worcester Polytechnic Institute? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the Worcester Polytech. That's the first one. That's where it all started. So I tried to get everywhere I've coached, tried to get the helmets up, the WPI one especially, just to remember where I came from, where I started.
Yeah.
And every time I come in here, I see those, just like I see the BC one or the Bucks one or the Niners one. That's important for me to see.
Right.
So I got them all up there, every one of those.
What's the orange one way up high on the left side? There's an
That's
orange
my high school
one up in the top
That's
left
my high
corner.
school.
Your high school helmet.
That's my high school helmet. It's got a bunch of decals on it from an all-star game that we swapped. That's why you see that Bucks logo, but it kind of looks like the Cleveland Browns helmet. That's my high school helmet, so that's up there too.
All right, I like that.
You got a good camera. You can pan out and really see all of it.
Oh yeah, you want to know? We once we do these home visits like this, Coach, we know just about everything.
Yeah.
In fact, we got your credit cards. We're going to go spend it right after we get done with the show. We got the whole thing now.
Hey, Jeff, I mean, recruiting's going on. You try to go to the bowl game. Obviously, the disappointment there. When's the downtime? I mean, is it January ahead of the second signing day, or? I mean, I know you got winter workouts too. The grind never stops here. I don't think normal folks know just how 365 this deal has become. I mean, there's about a 30-day period in June and July, and that's about it, as I recall. Yeah,
that's it. And I'm going to give the staff off and take some time off now until our players come back. They need it. I mean, if you're even looking at this camera right now, I look awful. We're all so exhausted. We need to get away, be with our families. I think that's so important just for our staffs to be with their kids, their wives and their families, and just get away and clear their heads. I'm a big believer in that. You got to be fresh and you got to enjoy what you're doing. I'm not one of these guys who wants people to sleep in the office. Actually, I won't allow anyone to sleep in their office. I want them to be home with their families. And I told the whole staff, I don't want anybody around right now. Go home and we'll get back when the players get back, and we'll start up our winter workouts and start getting on the cut-ups and doing the rest of the recruiting. But for now, go be with your families and be a normal dad and a husband, and just hit the refresh button because we all need it.
Coach, we've had a number of conversations, whether it be on this show or on the radio show in the afternoon, of coaches speaking out about the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness. We've really not touched base with you on that. I know it's crazy trying to put the roster management together. I know you're excited about the incoming class that you just signed, and there's still some unfinished business there when you get to February. But what's your take on where we are in college football right now, given name, image, and likeness, the transfer portal, the 6-year senior? I mean, it really is a fascinating time. But big picture in college football, are we in a good spot, or do we have some issues here?
I think we got to slow down a little bit. I think it's getting out of hand. I think it's hurting the student athlete. And what do I mean by that? If you look at all the numbers in the transfer portal right now, I mean, it's insane. And we're not going to live in the portal. We signed 21 high school players, and we're going to sign more high school players as we get to February. I want to develop high school players, and I want high school players to have a chance to play college football. And this portal is going to hurt the kid who developed when he became a senior. This portal is going to hurt the kid who would have gotten a scholarship, but now the school's saving 15 scholarships for college players. And now there's thousands of kids in the portal, and there aren't thousands of scholarships. And one of the reasons you come to college football is to help change lives and get a degree. There's going to be thousands of kids left in the portal who now no longer have a chance to have a scholarship to get an education. And that is a major, major problem. And that bothers me. And it bothers me that there's less scholarships for high school players. So I just, there's got to be something done. And then you want to talk about roster management. All of a sudden, 10 kids leave at the end of spring. And what if 5 of them are offensive linemen? This isn't another sport where guys can just swap out and play a different position. How are you going to bring an offensive lineman to play if 4 or 5 of your offensive linemen just left? And certainly for some kids, we've had some players who have went down to the FCS level because they knew they weren't going to play here, and I respect that. I think it's awesome. If a kid wants to play and be the guy, we'll help you. And I've helped a lot of kids find a home. But for the kid who just got somewhere and isn't playing, and he's not learning how to persevere and push through things and what life is really about, life's hard. I mean, you're not just going to walk in somewhere and be the man. You want to transfer and you want the easy way out, or do you want to push through, just like you're going to have to later on in your life? I think there has to be guidelines. I think there has to be more restrictions. I get it. There should be a time and a place where kids can leave. I get that. But we just got to be careful, or we're going to wind up hurting more kids than helping them. And I know for me, I came back to college to help people and change lives, or else I would have stayed in the National Football League. And I just feel there's too many kids now that lives are going to go in the wrong direction because they're getting bad advice or just didn't want to push through things.
All right, we got about a minute left. If you weren't coaching football, what would you be doing?
Like, if I could choose anything, or if I was good at anything else?
You'd be Rambo. You'd be Rambo.
I'd be either that, or I'd be like a rock star and be singing. I just can't sing, but I'd love to like get a guitar and just get on stage and start jamming with you guys.
By the way, speaking of music, what is your walk-up music, Jeff? Your personal walk-up music. Yeah,
I would say either
you're going to play.
Born to Run or No Surrender by Bruce Springsteen.
There you go. Finally, Bruce.
See, there comes the jersey again.
Love it. Hey, Happy New Year.
Well, great to see you.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on.
You got
Anytime. You know that. Congratulations on double figures.
Yeah, the mug's coming your way.
You'll get a mug. You'll get a mug. There we go.
Feel better.
Packer and Durham mug.
You got it.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Feel better.
Great show. Thanks to Jeff Hafley.